It's coffee time. Sorry for the weird hiatus. All of last week I've been having strange technical issues with both of my videos. I wasn't able to put up news like at all. There were random coffee times that I wasn't able to put up. So I think it's all sorted out at this point, but I was feeling also like I was coming down with something, so I just didn't want to like wrestle with it too much. So I feel very bad about that. I'm sorry, but I'm back. And I hope that you perhaps watched the DIY that I also put up today. It was with Jesse Cox. We made Skyrim coasters like this one. This is one of the test ones, so it's not very interesting because I didn't want to use one of the places that I wanted to have on the actual show, but they wind up looking really cool, and we had a lot of fun. So if that's something that you want to learn how to do and have all of the lols happening because Jesse is there, I'll put a really obnoxious annotation on my video that will guide you there. But, yeah, I mean, I've had, like, today, honestly, out of this weekend, today was the best day of this weekend because I was invited to a flea market, and again, I wasn't feeling great, so I was like, I don't know whether or not I'm gonna go. I'm not super positive. It'll all depend on how I feel when I wake up this morning. But when I woke up, I felt totally fine. So, I'm currently have a giant pile of blankets, but the actual sheets and things I'm washing because I'm like, if there are any germs or anything on these, I want them gone. So I'm just washing everything that I've slept on since I was feeling like a little bit weird. Anywho, so I woke up this morning and it felt fine. And so Ro and I wound up going to this flea market that was the dopeness. There was the cello master blaster was Okay, so this is the Rose Bowl flea market, and it's huge. And a flea market basically is like a giant garage sale. But a lot of people that are collectors of things bring their collections there. There are people that bring things that they believe to be antique or just things that look kind of antique. Sometimes people just have lots of weird trash that they're trying to sell, and you get confused. There was a lady who had a table, and she had a couple of mostly used candles and then a blow-up pencil. And that's all that she was selling. And I was like, bro, do you need like a pencil for nerdy dummies? It was ridiculous. Who knows? Maybe those candles and that blow-up pencil are worth millions. I'm just not sure. But I was really excited because I found this one stand that had lots of just little like craft items. So they had like a whole section that was utensils for woodworking. They had clay working, quilting, just all of these little things that you would need dentistry. They had like tons of dental tools that made me go, like concerned me. But I found the coolest thing ever because I went up there with a pair of shears and this thing. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. This is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. I'm sure that these have been around forever, but it's a oh, the cat freaked out. It's a fabric measure, but it's a keychain. So I'll always have one on me. Oh my gosh, that like made me so happy. And then I found shears and a seam ripper. So I went up there with these three things and I was like, what up? These are the things that I want to buy. Do you take card? And the guy was like, yeah. And I was like, thank goodness, because otherwise I was going to have to go find my friend who is currently trying to find a desk. And then he went to ring it up and he goes, oh, I'm sorry. There's a $10 minimum. And these things only add up to $6. And I was like, I mean, that's awesome that they only add up to $6. But I'm positive that if I look around here long enough, I can find $10 worth of things. And he laughed and he was like, okay, so I'm looking around in this metalworking area, and I was like, I haven't really done a whole lot of stuff with metals. I love metals, but I don't know how to use things beyond like giant machinery. I don't know how to use like small tinkery tools. But I found something that I've only ever found that is really expensive at like anytime that I'm just gonna show you what they are so that I can then explain it in a way that makes sense. So it comes in a thing like this. Some of you already know what it is, I'm sure. They are metal stamps. So this is the entire alphabet. You can get them in different fonts, in different sizes. I don't have any numbers. I only have the alphabet and an ampersand. That's it. I wonder if you can like kind of see that, but they're great. So they're dirty too, but I'm gonna pick one up, whatever. So say that I wanted to do an A. So this is an A. They're all lowercase, and you just take like a thin piece of metal and you place it down like this, and then you just hammer it. And there are all sorts of like little kitschy projects that use these that I've wanted to try doing, and I've always wanted to have them around in case there was something not so kitschy that I could do with them. I have yet to find anything like that, but normally these are semi-expensive and hard to find, so I've just never bought them. But at this place, I was like, yo, how much are these? Expecting them to say like an exorbitant number, and they were like, for that size, the guy who was the owner, he was like, for that size, I'll give it to you for 10. I was like, awesome. So, wound up walking away with all these cool things for 16 bucks, and I was really excited about it. I'm so glad that I now have these metal stamps. You know the like, when people do cool things with spoons, where they like stamp things into spoons and then turn them into like hangers or whatever? They do it with metal stamps. So I'm excited to have those. I'm excited that I got them for cheap because now I can try them on something. You know, I can clean them up so that there isn't any like goopy weirdness that's going to make the letters not show up quite as well. And then I can try them out, and if I come up with something that's really fun to do with them, then I could get different fonts, I could get different sizes, I could get numbers. It would be so cool. But I've been warned that it can turn into an expensive hobby. Probably not as expensive as some hobbies, but I was just excited. So found those. I'm trying to think. Ro found this huge. Oh my gosh! It looked like a giant Sherlock cat. It was amazing. It was like this giant sculpture of a panther going like this, and she took a picture next to it going. Oh, it was just so amazing. I was like, this is the greatest thing. If there was a reason to have it, I still wouldn't buy it, but if only. But it was huge. It was like two of her. It was craziness. But yeah, in general, I guess there's a Beverly Hills flea market, and then there's also this Pasadena flea market. And what's great about those two areas is that they're areas where a lot of rich people live. So when all of these people are like, I don't know what to do with all this furniture. I've had it for a year and I need to replace it with new furniture. They just bring it to flea markets. And you're like, yes. So you find really cool, interesting furniture there. That's like my favorite part of flea markets, is finding all of this really old or really interesting looking furniture, like chairs and desks and just so many cool things. There was this big, I don't know what they're called, but like the display cases that, gosh, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. In a kitchen, sometimes you have like, it's kind of like an island, but then there's a top portion that can hold like glasses and whatever else, and you normally have it up against a wall. Anyway, it was made out of this really pretty dark wood and then had metal on it that was riveted in a way where it looked kind of like a plane. And Rose's family is very involved in planes. So she was like, oh, this reminds me of my family. I love this so much. And then we were like, oh, why don't we have a kitchen that could hold these things? Because they had like a full kitchen set that was just all this really cool, like dark wood and hanger material. And we were just like, oh, this is awesome. But sadly, we had to walk away. But perhaps that guy won't have sold it by the time, in like 4 years. When Ro has a big kitchen that she could put it in. But yeah. So overall today was a success, and I had delicious horchata, which I'm finding out rapidly not many people know what horchata is. It's like a Mexican like rice drink with cinnamon, and oh gosh, it's so good. Sometimes it's really sweet and sometimes it's kind of bland. This one was really sweet and I was pinging hard. Dude, Ro got the lemonade from the same place and I got the horchata, and then we were just like, we sucked that stuff down and we were both going, too much sugar. When we were all walking back to our cars, Jeannie was like, oh, where did you guys park? And Ro was like, we're over there. The hobbits are off to the Shire. And she just starts running to the car. And I was like, we're running to the car. This is happening. So we literally ran all the way to our car. And when we got in, we were both like, it was so silly. I just texted Jeannie and I was like, we literally ran all the way to the car like crackheads. And she was like, I know, we saw. It was so silly. So needless to say, I feel much better today. But last week was just not good for any sort of uploading. It was very, very frustrating. So fingers crossed that this week goes better. I don't see why I would have the same issues. I think that I've pretty much figured out everything that was going wrong. Yeah, overall, I had an okay weekend. Yesterday was pretty chill. And then today I got to do awesome flea market extravaganzas. So I hope that you guys had a good weekend. And please, please go watch the DIY. Let me know what you think. Oh, and also, wait, one more thing. So the Shorty Awards are going right now, which if you took it at face value, you would assume that it has to do with cool short people, which it should be, because Ro and I would both win. But it's basically like social media awards, and they have all sorts of different categories. Ro is running in food, so definitely go and vote for her. And I'm running in video blogger. So I'm currently, I think last time I looked, I was currently 4th on the list. I would love your vote. At first I thought that you could only vote once, but apparently you can vote more than once. Somebody told me. So, yeah, if you would like to support me in that, that would be incredible. I will link you in the description so that you can go do that. I'll link you for both Rose and my pages. I don't think that Mike is running. I keep trying to get him to. I was like, Mike, you can run in gaming, and I'll run in video blogging, or Ro will run in food. And then we will do the most massive live stream until we win. Even though it does, even if you're in first, it doesn't matter because they take, I think, the top 5 or the top 6, something like that, and then they have actual judges that go through like all of your answers and your content and actually determine who they think should win rather than who the People's Choice is. But there's still like People's Choice Awards. But anyway, so that's going on, and if you would like to vote for me, I would definitely appreciate it. And if you would like to vote for Ro, I'm sure she would definitely appreciate it. And if you don't care at all, then you can just hang out and watch more YouTube videos, and that's totally cool too. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. I know, kitty, all the kisses.